Hey everybody, it's Brett. Thank you for dropping by my channel. So, as we are about 9 weeks with change until the end of the year, I started to think this weekend I was looking at piles of books and getting total anxiety about what I could finish, what I might finish, what I really want to finish for the end of the year, what's going to end up in a slush pile. And it made me think of this, which was a challenge that I'm setting for myself, and I will offer this up to anyone on BookTube, or even if you're not a BookTuber but just want to do this, please do. And I would love to know if you wanted to write down in the comments what you think your books would be. But so this challenge is called the 10 before the end of the year challenge. Not before the end of the world. Hopefully not. But so 10 books that you want to get to before the end of the year that you are going to prioritize. I went through all of my piles, pulled out the following 10. And I feel like this is a pretty good mix of backlist titles as well as newer things. Taking it back, I've had this book on so many year-end lists, want to read this book, never happened. I bought the sequel, clearly haven't read the sequel because I haven't read the first. I think I've been intimidated by the length. I think I've been intimidated because I've had some people say it's very dense, but I feel like I've just got to give it a try, even if it means I'm going to give up. And that's Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. So, you know, they've called this a kind of African Game of Thrones. It's supposed to be very intricate, very bloody. The bloody doesn't bother me. The intricate might. But it's just been sitting on my shelves for so long saying, please read me, that I really, I feel like I've got to give it a good college try before the end of the year. So there is that. That's 2. Number 3, one of the finalists for the National Book Award this year, The Rabbit Hutch by Tess Gunty. Tess Gunty is this is a first-time novelist. This also has just won a Barnes & Noble. It's either a first author award, like a first book award. I'm right now showing you what the Barnes & Noble thing is called because I don't remember what it was, but this just won that as well. So I just want to read you this. A stunning debut novel about the quest for transcendence and the desire for love set in a crumbling apartment building in the post-industrial Midwest. The automobile industry has abandoned Vanceville, Indiana, leaving the residents behind too. In a rundown apartment building on the edge of town, commonly known as the Rabbit Hutch, a number of people now reside quietly, looking for ways to live in a dying city. Apartment C2 is lonely and detached. C6 is aging and stuck. C8 harbors an extraordinary fear, but C4 is of particular interest. Here live 4 teenagers who have recently aged out of the state foster care system, 3 boys and 1 girl, Blandine. Hauntingly beautiful and unnervingly bright, Blandine is plagued by the structures, people, and places that not only failed her, but actively harmed her. Now, all that Blandine wants is an escape, a true bodily escape, like the mystics describe in the books she reads. It's clearly supposed to be, but based on all the attention it's getting, it sounds great. Love this cover. So that is number 2. Number 3, another book that I've picked up 6,000 million times in the last 2 months, have not got to it yet, but I'm such a massive fan of hers, so I will absolutely be high prioritizing this on the 10, is Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. Mandel. What I love is if you've read her other stuff, all of these stories are kind of threaded together or they have connections to each other. I did read her second book, The Glass Hotel, earlier this year, and I loved it so much, almost if not more than Station 11. So I'm really excited about this. That's number 3. I always say I'm really excited on books that I'm choosing to read, which I think is funny because why would I read it if I wasn't excited? Allie Smith, Autumn, Taking It Back. when the lockdown first happened, um, I was looking at this book online, all of this series, and you know, everybody spent their relief checks on different things. I spent one on a set of the Ali Smith books, this limited edition set from London, because I thought they were so gorgeous. They all have these David Hockney prints on them, and they're all signed. But I'm a freak, I know, and I've never read them. And I've kept saying, oh, it's spring, I'm going to read spring. And this summer I was going to read summer. I haven't done any of them. So I'm definitely going to start with autumn and make this a high priority and start this series, so they're not only just sitting on my shelf, but I could say, I loved those books, or I did not love those books, but they look nice on a bookshelf. So anyway, really excited. There it is again, see? So I'm going to be interested in reading Ali Smith's Autumn and starting this quartet in earnest. Another backlister slightly, which is Build Your House Around My Body. This has been something that I've wanted to read. Again, I've picked it up, put it down, picked it up, put it down. And I've had so many people say it's really fascinating. A century of Vietnam's history and folklore comes to life in this brilliant, sweeping epic that swaps spirits and sheds time like snakeskin. Two young women go missing decades apart. Both are fearless, both are lost, and both will have the revenge between 1986 and 2011. It sounds great. Really interested in this, and beautiful, 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 beautiful cover. Speaking of really beautiful covers, and I've been talking about this a lot recently, Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng. I don't think I really need to go into much of an explanation about this, except to say it's getting a lot of heat. A lot of people I've heard from have loved it. It's a kind of a dystopian story that doesn't sound quite, frankly, too far-fetched from what's currently happening in this country. So, interested in this one. Also, another book that I've talked about ad nauseum on my channel since I've started, which I have, for the life of me, I don't actually know why I haven't just read it and pushed everything else off to the side, except, mood, which is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I can't even begin to say how excited I am and have been to read this. I wish I could just literally press it to my head and absorb it through my brain and it would be in there, because so many people raving about it, saying one of the best books of the year. It's been compared to Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which I love so much, Oxford Academia with some magical elements, but not Harry Potter. All about words, frankly. I think this one sounds just incredible. So, and you know what? It's Babel, I think. Babel. I keep mispronouncing it. Stone Blind. I talked about this, I think, just on when I did my last book grab, my last pile of books that I got. This is the Medusa Story by Natalie Haynes. Again, well, first of all, again, since we're doing it again, acknowledge how gorgeous the Waterstones edition is, how beautiful this cover is, how the light picks up shine. So this sounds just terrific. I love an origin story, even for the woman who tried to turn Harry Hamlin into stone. Yeah. Two left. The first, again, Goldsboro books for the win. Kate Atkinson, Shrines of Gaiety. This is, here, I'll read from the back. The filthy, glittering underbelly of London was concentrated in its nightclubs, and particularly the Amethyst, the gaudy jewel at the heart of Soho's nightlife. It was not the moral delinquency, the dancing, the drinking, and even the drugs that dismayed Frobisher. It was the girls. Girls were disappearing in London. At least 5 he knew about had vanished over the last few weeks. Where did they go? He suspected that they went in through the doors of the Soho clubs and never came out again. Woo! I'm so excited about this. I'm also excited just to read the book, to find out how this cover ties in, because, you know, I don't know, but I'm getting a real water lily vibe from this or something. But really, really excited about this one. 1926, London, and Nellie Coker, who runs a club. The final book for me that I'm going to try to high prioritize, my 10 before the end of the year, is Geraldine Brooks' Horse. Haven't seen a lot about this. I only know one person actually who's read it and absolutely loved it and said it will probably be one of his favorite books of the year. Oh, and my sister read it too and she liked it. A discarded painting in a junk pile, a skeleton in an attic, and the greatest racehorse in American history. From these strands, a Pulitzer Prize winner braids a sweeping story of spirit, obsession, and injustice. Kentucky, 1850. An enslaved groom and a bay foal forge a bond of understanding that will carry the horse to record-setting victories across the South. When the nation erupts in civil war, an itinerant artist who has made his name on paintings of the racehorse take up arms for the Union. On a perilous night, he reunites with the stallion and his groom, very far from the glamour of any racetrack. New York City, 1954, a gallery owner celebrated for taking risks on edgy contemporary painters becomes obsessed with a 19th century equestrian oil painting of a mysterious providence. And in Washington, D.C. in 2019, a Smithsonian scientist from Australia and a Nigerian-American art historian find themselves unexpectedly connected through their shared interest in the horse. In studying the stallion's bones for clues to his speed and endurance, the other uncovering the lost history of the unsung black horseman who was critical to his racing success. Inspired by the remarkable true story of the record-breaking thoroughbred Lexington, Horse is a novel of art and science, love and obsession, and our unfinished reckoning with racism. This sounds like, I don't know why we haven't heard more of this, because, I mean, doesn't that sound amazing? So that is my 10 before the end. I'm really going to try to stick to it. So be watching at the end of my wrap-ups in November and December to see what has been added to this group. So yeah, I would love to see yours. I would love to see what 10 you're going to pick. Whether or not you're making it a video or not, list them below. I would love to see. I'm always interested. So thank you for stopping by today. And as always, if you like what you're seeing here, like and subscribe and tell all your friends and send out a blast and tell them I give away money. No, I don't. Okay, none of those things. But yes, like and subscribe. I would so appreciate it. I will see you all soon, and thanks for stopping by.